I'm starting to notice a problem with most vocal processing tutorials. They all say the same thing over and over: EQ, compression, de-essing. But is that really it? Because I found that even after watching those tutorials, my vocals still don't sound professional. Well, all of that changed a few years ago when I was lucky enough to sit down with one of the best vocal engineers in the world. And they gave me tips that no one else seemed to be talking about. Now, I'm just here to share them with you. Of course, this comes with their approval. I'm not that big of an asshole, so stick around because I will reveal who this legend is. You're gonna be surprised. All right, so first one up, this is sick. I wanna show you how to get the perfect vocal volume in the mix every single time, so it's not too loud, not too quiet. You're going to start by bringing your master volume all the way down. We wanna listen at a very quiet level. With the instrumental playing, I'm going to start to bring up the volume of my vocal. My goal here is to make sure I can clearly hear each word, but I'd also like to still hear some of those instruments. Awesome. This sounds pretty balanced at that quiet level. What I'm going to do next is bring my master fader back to 0 where we started and watch how the vocal sounds in context of the mix. It's perfect. And you might be wondering, why did this work? This chart chose us. The chart chose us. I should just leave that and see if anyone catches it. This chart shows us equal loudness contours of human hearing. The quieter the volume is, your ear just doesn't really hear the low end or high end well. And it forced our ear to focus on the mid and upper mid-range frequencies, which is exactly where the human voice sits. This allows us to get a more accurate volume balance. Next up, I want to show you how to create a perfect vocal delay. And the kind I'm talking about is when you hear those repeat delays in a song where it's like the last word of a phrase perfectly repeats over and over. Every tutorial I ever watched told me to just automate a delay on that final word, and that's how you get the repeating vocal. Yeah, that doesn't work.
I'm falling down.
Did you notice how it doesn't perfectly catch the phrase? It kind of sounds jagged, choppy, amateur. This is how you fix it. What I'm going to do is create a new audio track and place a delay on it. For this instance, I'm going to choose a half note and I want to make sure I turn the dry wet up to 100%. Now, all I have to do is go copy the exact word or phrase from my vocal that I want to repeat and paste it onto this delay track here.
I'm falling down. I'm falling down.
Did you hear how perfect that is? Let's take it one step further. I can drag any word from any part of the vocal onto this track and it's automatically going to create those repeating delays. I can also duplicate this delay track and create a second one with a completely different delay value to give me some variation. Then I could also process these delay channels with some EQ, a reverb, or even a sidechain compressor. And this is then going to duck the actual repetitions around the original vocal, so that they don't destroy the mix or get in the way of the vocal. All right, this next tip is huge when you're dealing with those dry recorded vocals. I want to show you how to get your vocal to sit in the mix so it doesn't feel so upfront, isolated, like it's on an island all by itself. Listen carefully to this before and after example and see if you can notice the difference. Hopefully you were able to hear how the processing made the vocal feel like it was part of the mix rather than on top of the mix. The key here is obviously going to be effects, but it's not what you think. I want to go one step further than most tutorials, which usually just cover those dramatic reverbs or delays that you slap on top of the vocal. We're going to start with this dry mono vocal. And in this rack, I'm going to first add a delay, and I like to call this one the earrings. This is going to be a very short ping pong or stereo delay, and the goal is to create some width on the vocal. How it gets the name earrings is I'm just going to mix it up at a volume level so it sounds like it's sitting right here, like where earrings would be.
Voices deep inside your mind. Sometimes I wonder why.
Let's continue and add a second delay to this rack. We're going to call this our slapback delay. This is going to be a very short reflection, as if you were singing right next to a wall and each word was bouncing back. I'm going to start by bringing the feedback down. This just represents the number of repetitions. I just want one. I don't want it to repeat, repeat, repeat. Then I'm going to choose a shorter delay time here, and I'm really just going to use my ear to see what sounds best, what seems to gel and vibe with the vocal timing wise.
Voices deep inside your mind. Sometimes I wonder why.
Now that I have the delay value that I like, I'm just going to bring the volume down so these slapback delays sit right behind the original vocal.
Voices deep inside your mind. Sometimes I wonder why.
All right, then for the third effect, let's go for a reverb. And you have some flexibility here with the type of reverb you want to use, room, plate, chamber. What I'm looking for with this one though is a shorter space, meaning a lower decay time. This is more just trying to bring back a realistic but controlled space directly around the vocal.
Sometimes I wonder why.
Watch what happens when we A-B the entire rack on and off. Then I throw some more obvious dramatic reverbs and delays on top of this, and now we have this. Before we go any further, I want to stop and reveal the legendary artist who showed me all these amazing tricks. The almighty vocal processing master himself. Drum roll, please. It was Moose.